What's up, guys? My God, that finale though. Gonna be touching on it a little bit. From last night's finale of The Walking Dead Season 6 episode. I don't know what the episode number is, but either way, the season finale. Did a quick video reaction last night, and my God, yeah, it has to be that. Well, that season in general was the best season of The Walking Dead, I feel, yet. The writing, the acting, all of it was amazing. When I was reading, I haven't read the comics, so don't get me wrong. So, if you have not watched finale, if you have not watched Season 6, if you are not caught up, do not watch this video. So, if you keep watching this video, and I ruin something for you, can't blame me. I'm telling you now. Don't watch this video. So, when I found out midway through Season 6 that Negan was going to be premiering this season, I didn't know who Negan was. Okay? So, I didn't know who he was, but it was being talked about enough to where I had to look into it. So, I looked into it a tad bit. I didn't spoil anything for myself, but, I mean, if you read up on it, you kind of knew the idea of what was going to happen in that last episode. And I found out who was playing him, the actor. And, my God, I can't think of his name off the top of my head. I'm going to have to look it up in a minute. So, either way, I'll start explaining, though. I was very excited for this actor to be playing him. I don't know why, but in the past I thought that he would make an amazing villain, and that's not in a... I feel like that could almost sound rude to the actor, that you'd make a great villain, but to be... I don't know what it necessarily is about that actor. His demeanor, his voice, I don't know. Just in general, I was like, he would make an amazing villain. So when I found out that he was going to be playing the main, what I guess from what the critics and critics of the comics and whatnot has called the, well, most notorious or most famous villain from the comics, I was really excited. Jeffrey Dean Morgan. And he did not disappoint at all. If you watched the finale, you'll know what I'm saying. For me, that was a phenomenal acting performance. To come into a TV show where you have some actors that have been together, working together, acting together for, my God, 5, 6, 7 years, and you're coming in as one of the most popular characters in the entire comic, and the first thing you're supposed to do is kill off another main character and give a performance to where you are the lead actor. I cannot imagine the pressure of that moment for that actor, but it was done amazingly. I can't stand when I can tell a story is well written, but with bad acting, if that makes sense. I can't stand it, because it reminds me that this person's an actor by their bad acting, and since it reminds me that they are acting, it reminds me that this isn't real. Whereas, if I'm watching a good performance from a good actor, you feel what they feel to an extent. To break down the episode, I already talked about the season. Season 1 of the greatest seasons, if not the greatest. I would say the greatest. That last episode, I feel like, was one of the best, if not the best episode. It has awful ratings. I think it has a 5.6 on IMDb right now. Reasonably to be expected. The initial reaction I had, if you watched my reaction video, was I was pissed. I was like, you're really not going to tell me who died right now? And that's reasonably me just being impatient. When something happens in the show, I want to know now. I don't want to wait till October. I want to know now. Don't worry, Chris Hardwick. I'm not going to tweet at you and tell the producer of the show he needs to be fired. My God, people were doing that. It's ridiculous. But that was my impatience coming out, not my actual view of the show. If I were to break it down so it makes sense to people who maybe thought like me in the beginning, and they're like, that's stupid, that's the worst ending, that's just to get you to watch next season. Season 6, throughout the entire season, made Rick and his group as a whole out to be like they were literally unstoppable. Glenn survived through ridiculous situations. The whole group, even Rick mentioned it like 8 times throughout the season. You know, like, if this comes down to this, we'll fight them, we'll win. And they did. They're starting to get this complex, like, you know, they can't be stopped. They can do whatever they want without consequences. And I'm rooting for Rick, obviously. It's the person, you know, you've been following. You develop that relationship with the character. I'm rooting for Rick. I'm rooting for Rick's group. I'm rooting for the people I know. But it was nice to have it not seem like it was an irrational TV show, to where Rick and his group could get into countless firefights, shooting, stabbing. They just got into countless situations where they just always got out of it without anything happening. I mean, there was some casualties, but I mean, in this episode, it was nice to see them finally brought back down to earth as a TV show, to where your actions do not go... you can't just do whatever you want, is what I'm trying to say. So, what this episode, a couple people made a few comments in my last video that were like, you know, all I did was watch like 30 minutes commercials, 4 roadblocks, and then a finale that didn't, it wasn't really a finale. It didn't end up finishing or giving you what you wanted. For me, though, what I saw from it was... it was Negan displaying or sending a message, almost like when he was talking to the one librarian guy they were going to kill or whatever, that he's in control. Rick and his group can't just get away with doing whatever they want, which is refreshing for me as a fan, because it started to seem that way. They literally could do whatever they want. They could literally kill whoever they want, take whatever they want. It almost started to seem like they... if you were following someone else's stories, are the villains now. Which is an interesting portion of the story to pay attention to, because if you... They mentioned this on The Walking Dead, or The Talking Dead, I'm sorry. They mentioned this, and it really explained it in a good way. If you were following Negan and the Saviors from day one, and Rick is the bad guy, and you find out that Rick has came... you haven't had any interaction yet, for the most part, but Rick and his group has came and killed a group of your scouts, an entire complex of your people, and then an entire separate group that has came to, I guess, kill you. I mean, at the end of the day, it's still your people. If you saw 15, 20 main characters die from Negan's group, and you grew up, or not grew up, but, you know, lived throughout the TV show watching them, and to have a finale where Negan, who you're following in this scenario, decides that he's not going to kill all of you. He's not even going to take all your stuff. He's going to demand for half of what you have. And he's only going to kill one of your people. Yeah, I feel like if roles were reversed and this had happened to Rick and the group, and this isn't a slight against them, but Rick and the group would have killed every single one of them if you saw 20 main characters die. And in your head as a viewer, you would justify that. Like, they had killed, and you would name them. They've killed so-and-so and so-and-so. I mean, when Herschel died, spoiler if you're not there, I said it. When Herschel died, you were like, Governor, all of them, all dead, don't care, kill them all. You know what I'm saying? Like, you were like, okay, sure. You know, it makes sense. They killed Herschel, they deserve to die. So it's an interesting part of the story. It's refreshing to have a villain again, because it's not just, to me, about rooting for people to live. They're smart enough, strong enough, resourceful enough to survive. It's not interesting anymore. I forgot what it was like to not only root for the group, but I forgot what it was like to root against somebody. Now, when I'm giving all this praise to Negan, saying reasonably he's had about 30 of his men die and all he's going to do is kill one of theirs, I don't want one of those people to die. I don't. I'm not rooting for that at all. I know it's going to happen. You hear at least like 6 or 7 hits with that bat. So you know that whoever he hit is dead. You know. In the comic it was Glenn. There's rumors it could be Daryl. My personal opinion on it is it's either one of the two. I don't think they would build this big of a scene up to kill off a semi-main character like like Michonne. Not saying she's not main, she is. Abraham, not saying he's not main, he is. I'm just saying like one of the main characters who have been here for a very long time. That's what I'm thinking. One of the like they have to do something for this villain to be as notorious as he is. They have to kill somebody that will hurt everybody. If you kill Daryl, you will hurt not only like the cast and whatnot, it's going to hurt the fan base. Everybody who's a fan of the show, it's going to hurt them, which will make you hate him, which is the point of the villain. Okay, so I feel like it's either going to be Daryl or Glenn. If you kill Daryl, it's going to affect the whole group. But the interesting part is if you kill Glenn, you section off a completely new story for Maggie and how she makes it through. It'll create a whole new storyline for her, and it's interesting in story writing. But at the same time, I'm often wrong with The Walking Dead. I'm like, they won't kill off this new girl that Rick likes, Beth. They won't kill, or no, not Beth. My God, don't remember her name. She's already dead. She had the 2 sons. Somebody tell me. You know who she is. I wouldn't think they would kill her off when they did. But I'm wrong. I was wrong. I thought I was like, oh, she won't die. They haven't developed her story enough. They want you to care more before she dies. I was wrong. So it's very possible that I'm wrong, but I'd imagine it's Glenn or Daryl. I think that's what the consensus is. People are saying, well, it's definitely Glenn. It was in the comics. And then some people are saying, well, it's Daryl. And then some people are breaking down the audio of the clip to say, oh, this is his height. Don't do it. I was doing the same thing when he was doing Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo. Everyone was doing it. They were trying to count how many people were in the row. There's 10. If he's on Eeny, that means he's on Daryl. That's okay. No, I tried to do the same thing in my head. I was counting. Walking Dead producers, I guarantee you, have not given anything away. They didn't use a certain person's voice. They didn't, none of that. They're very good about keeping stuff quiet. I know they are going to be shooting and filming. I'm assuming there's going to be non-disclosure agreements. I'm assuming there's going to be penalties if anybody leaks anything. It'll probably be a closed set. I don't know. Also, don't want to leave this out. In terms of the ending, the way it ended, the way I was upset at first, if you really think about it, I know everyone's mad. This is why I got bad ratings, so I wanted to touch on this very quickly. Not the point in the climax of season 6 was not to begin the story of Negan. That was not the point of season 6. Season 6 was, the whole point of season 6 was, to me it seemed like to build up Rick and then bring him back down to earth, like I've said. It's the first time you've ever seen Rick, just no words, nothing to say, there's no reasoning, there's nothing you can do. You've made your choices, you have to live with the consequences of your decisions, and a lot of people were very upset by the ending, me included initially. When I'd first seen it, I was like, are you kidding me? I even said it in the video, are you kidding me? Robert Kirkman, you're killing me. I said that, but the producers, the writers, it's if you think about it, it makes sense to end the story that way. Okay, I'm complete scenario. They killed Glenn. They killed Glenn, right? They end this season with killing Glenn. Say they do that instead. Everybody's upset, right? We're all upset. It sucks. People are crying. And then you have like a 5-month layoff. Over that 5 months, it sucks, but you're not thinking about The Walking Dead anymore. You get over it. And then you start season 7 being like, oh yeah, Negan, he killed Negan, he killed Glenn. Oh yeah, we don't like him. Okay. If you start next season seeing who dies and dealing with the aftermath, and that starts Negan's story for season 7, the drive to want to watch and the drive and the passion you'll have for disliking this villain, which, like I had said before, is the point of a villain, to root against them, to not like they're the antagonists. It sets Season 7 up, and it makes so much more sense to start it that way. Because, like I had said, you start that season with that, and immediately that emotion that you had or were going to have of that character dying now is instantaneous, and you get to start with that in a season. It just makes a lot of sense. So, while we can be upset, you know, we have to wait. We have to find out. It sucks. It does. I really think in the end it's going to benefit the viewers. Give it a shot. Stop calling for somebody's job. Stop harassing Chris Hardwick. Give it a chance. If it starts off next season and it's a disaster, the way they do it is a disaster, the storytelling doesn't make sense, you know, then be like, okay, that did not work, okay? But from there, like I said, give it a shot. But I'd love to know what you guys think of the finale, about anything I've said, if you agree, disagree, whichever. You know, if you're new to the channel, I might keep doing vlogs about this stuff, about shows I watch. If you find anything I'm saying interesting, if you think what I'm saying is stupid, it's all appreciated. We all have different opinions of how the story's going to work out. But anyways, as always, guys, follow me, subscribe, all that good stuff. And as always, see you guys later. Okay, bye.